Welcome back. Now for your 5-day weather forecast, we go outside to Catherine Ward.
Thanks, guys. It looks as though there will be some clouds today here in Toronto, but we will also be seeing some milder temperatures. Today there will be a high of 12 with a low of 6. Friday, there will be some sun in the morning, followed by afternoon showers that may give way to flurries in the early evening. There will be a high of 8 and a low of 3. Saturday brings a mix of sun and clouds with a high of 2 and temperatures dipping below freezing to a low of -1. Sunday, there's a chance of snow with a high of 2 and a low of -3. And Monday, the sun will once again try and peek through with a high of 7 and a low of 1. That's it for your 5-day weather forecast. I'm Catherine Ward. Now, back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Catherine. Turning now to national and international news. Canada's premiers are meeting in Halifax tomorrow with the hopes of creating a common economic plan. The meeting was set up last July when the premiers agreed to discuss how their provinces can be protected from a global economy flux. Noticeably absent will be Prime Minister Stephen Harper, who was invited to attend. The premiers say knowing what's going on with the federal economy would help them plan.
Changes to Canada's criminal code could make it tougher for doctors to release killers deemed mentally ill. People found not criminally responsible are reviewed every year for potential release. The proposed changes will push back the review to every 3 years. One victim's family says the news is a relief because it limits the number of times they need to relive the crimes at review board meetings.
Overseas, people in the Gaza Strip are starting to rebuild their lives. Israel and Hamas declared a ceasefire yesterday. The truce has halted some of the worst cross-border combat in the region. Over the course of 8 days, at least 5 Israelis and 161 Palestinians were killed, including 71 civilians.
There is continuing unrest in Congo with attempts to overthrow the government. Rebels are trying to take over strategic towns and have already taken over the provincial capital of Goma this week. According to the UN, the war has forced over 100,000 people to leave the country.
The Taliban is threatening to take revenge on India unless the body of a Pakistani gunman is returned. He was executed yesterday for his role in the 2008 Mumbai attacks that killed almost 170 people. A Taliban spokesman says if the man's body is not returned to his family or handed over to the Taliban, they will take action. India says they would consider any request from the family or the Pakistan government, but they have yet to hear from either.
The European Union is taking action to protect sharks. By a vote of 566 to 47, the European Parliament chose to ban the use of special permits in the controversial practice of shark finning. The practice sees shark fishers slicing off the fins before the fish are thrown back into the ocean. Unable to swim, finless sharks sink to the ocean floor and are often eaten by other marine life.
Plumes of gray ash burst out of a New Zealand volcano for the second time this year. Mount Tongariro erupted at about 1:20 p.m. on Wednesday. Prior to its earlier eruption in August, the volcano had been dormant for almost 115 years. The eruption went on for about 5 minutes, with its plume rising to almost 4 kilometers.
For our neighbors to the south, it's the annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Now in its 6th year, the parade took over New York City streets with floats, balloons, and holiday cheer. Over 3 million people attend the event, and more than 50 million viewers were expected to tune in at home.
And now let's check out what's happening in sports.
Hi, I'm Elton Hobson, and here's your sports news. NHL fans must be feeling a bit like Charlie Brown, with Gary Bettman or Donald Fehr taking turns as Lucy. Time and again, against our better judgment, we all get our hopes up, only for Lucy to move that football at the last minute and leave poor Charlie Brown out of luck. So with the news talks have fallen through between the league and the Players Union once again, a lot of hockey fans may be saying, oh good grief. The NHLPA tabled a new collective bargaining agreement yesterday that was closer to the owner's demands than any offer before. But NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman says the two sides are still miles apart. Talks may resume after the American Thanksgiving holiday, but as of now, nothing is scheduled. Veteran Washington Capitals defenseman Roman Hamrlik voiced his displeasure with NHLPA Executive Director Donald Fehr in an interview yesterday. Hamrlik claimed to be disgusted and said it was time to consider firing Fehr. Hamrlich's comments drew ire from other players, including Montreal Canadiens forward Eric Cole, who characterized Hamrlich's comments as selfish and disappointing. In other NHL news, fan frustration is continuing to mount with the NHL lockout dragging into its 67th day. Gary Bettman spoke to the media yesterday when he was confronted by an angry fan.
Excuse me one second. I'm in the middle of a media scrum. I'll be happy to talk to you when I'm done, but if you're not credentialed media, I think it's unfortunate and unfair to these people. So but we're fans. I know you're a fan. I'm happy to talk to you, but these people are trying to do their job, and I'm trying to help them. Thank you for being a fan. I appreciate it, and I apologize for it. No. Happy Thanksgiving.
Another night, another Raptors loss. Jonas Valanciunas had a double-double, and Andrea Bargnani scored 25 points for the Raptors. Meanwhile, Kyle Lowry added 21 in his second game back from injury. But it was Charlotte's Kemba Walker who led the way. He had 19 of his own, and Ramon Sessions nailed the go-ahead bucket with 28 seconds left in the fourth to seal the 98-97 win. As you heard earlier, it's American Thanksgiving today, and you know what that means, football fans? The NFL will have a full slate of games today, with the Texans and the Lions playing in Detroit, while RG3 and the Redskins take on the Cowboys later this afternoon. Later tonight, it's an AFC East battle, as the sinking Jets take on the division-leading Patriots. And as Grey Cup week continues, the CFL will hold its annual awards tonight. Argonauts wideout Chad Owens headlines the nominees for CFL's Most Outstanding Player. He's up against running back John Cornish from the Calgary Stampeders. The award ceremony kicks off tonight, with the player awards being handed out at 7:30. That's all for your sports news. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Elton. After the break, we'll get the latest in entertainment from Aaron Eden.
Canada's on-screen bachelor has chosen a fiancé, Anderson Cooper makes a scene on Twitter, and Chevy Chase leaves Community. All this and more coming up in entertainment.